Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive. Today we're tackling something that's near and dear to a lot of our hearts. That's right, we're talking parenting.
Oh, I'm excited for this one.
Me too. It's amazing how our furry friends can completely transform our lives.
Totally. And there's so much more to it than just the basics. It's a whole emotional landscape.
It really is.
Yep.
And that's what makes today's deep dive so interesting. We've got two really cool resources to explore. The first one is the Parenting Guide for the New Parent.
I've heard great things about that one.
It's fantastic. It goes beyond just the practical tips like, potty training and vet visits, although it covers those too, of course, and really delves into the emotional side of becoming a parent.
That's so important because let's be honest, becoming a new parent can be kind of overwhelming.
Totally overwhelming. And I think a lot of new parents put so much pressure on themselves to do everything perfectly right away.
Right. Like they have to have it all figured out from day one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But this guide kind of takes the pressure off. It acknowledges that, hey, it's a learning process.
Like, it's okay to make mistakes. You're going to stumble along the way. We all do.
Exactly. And I love that honesty. It's so refreshing. Like reading it, I found myself nodding along thinking, yeah, that's exactly how I felt.
It's like having a friend who gets it.
Yeah.
Someone who's been there, done that, and can offer a little reassurance.
Totally. And speaking of reassurance, one of the things the guide emphasizes is those unforgettable moments that we share with our pets. Those moments that really stick with you.
Oh, I love that. Those moments are pure gold. They make all the craziness worth it.
They do. Like for me, there's nothing better than that feeling of my dog cuddling up to me after a long day. Or, those times when he does something totally unexpected that makes me laugh.
It's those little things, right? They're what make the bond so special.
Absolutely. But, it's more than just cute moments. I think those experiences actually teach us a lot about ourselves, too.
I completely agree. You learn patience, empathy. You start to understand the world from a whole new perspective.
It's like we develop this whole new language, a way of communicating that goes beyond words.
Like you're on the same wavelength?
Exactly. And I think through those moments, we become better caretakers.
More attuned to their needs, more sensitive to their emotions.
For sure. And speaking of needs, let's move on to our second resource for this deep dive, Cooking for Your Pup.
Ooh, now we're talking. I'm always curious about this whole homemade pet food trend.
Me too. I mean, imagine ditching the store-bought kibble and whipping up gourmet meals for your furry friend.
Sounds pretty amazing, right?
Right. But beyond just the foodie aspect, this cookbook really dives into the health benefits of cooking for your pet.
That's what I find fascinating. I mean, there's so much research now about how diet affects our pet's longevity and overall well-being.
Absolutely. And this cookbook emphasizes the importance of a balanced diet with wet, dry, and fresh homemade food. It talks about how it can actually impact your dog's organ health.
Wow, so it's not just about giving them a tasty meal.
No, it's about giving them the nutrients they need to thrive.
That makes sense.
And, it's not always easy. I mean, remember those early days when you were trying to figure out what your pet liked and disliked?
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's like a whole new world of trial and error.
Exactly. And this cookbook really embraces that experimentation. It encourages you to get creative in the kitchen and have fun with it.
I love that. It should be a joyful experience.
Absolutely. It's not just about sustenance. It's a way to celebrate the bond you have with your pet.
And create some amazing memories along the way.
Totally. So now that we've got a feel for these resources, let's hear from some actual parents who've put these ideas into practice.
Yes. Real-world experiences are always so insightful. I'm excited to hear what people have to say. It's so cool to hear how these resources actually play out in parents' lives.
Right. It's one thing to read about it, but it's another to see those ideas in action. Okay, so first up we have Liam T. from Sydney, and he was super impressed with the parenting guide.
Oh, what did he say?
Well, he talked about how it helped him feel less isolated as a new pet parent, like he was part of a bigger community.
That's so important, especially when you're just starting out. You can feel a little lost and overwhelmed, like you're the only one going through it.
Totally. But this guide kind of reassures you that, hey, there's a whole tribe of parents out there who've been in your shoes.
It's like a support system.
Yeah.
You can share your experiences, ask questions, learn from each other.
Exactly. And that sense of belonging can make a world of difference.
It's validating. You realize you're not alone in the joys and the struggles of pet parenting.
Okay, so next we have Emma C. from Toronto. And she said she actually laughed and cried while reading the parenting guide.
Ah, that's so sweet. It must have really resonated with her.
It did. She said it felt so authentic and real. Like she was connecting with the stories on a deep emotional level.
I get that. Sometimes you read something and it just hits you in the feels.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I think it speaks to the power of shared experiences. Even if you're just reading about someone else's journey, it can still make you feel seen and understood.
It's like, oh, I'm not the only one who feels that way.
Exactly. And that validation can be so powerful.
For sure.
All right, let's move on to Hans P. from Berlin and Max. Hans had a slightly different take on the parenting guide.
Oh, what did he think?
Well, he found it to be super practical, especially when he brought home his German Shepherd puppy, Max.
Makes sense. Puppies are a whole other level of parenting.
Right. There's so much to learn and so much to adjust to.
So the guide probably gave him a good foundation.
It did. He said it helped him navigate those crucial early stages with confidence.
Yeah.
Everything from potty training to socialization.
That's awesome. It's great to have a resource that you can turn to for guidance.
Absolutely. And speaking of guidance, we've also got some great feedback on Cooking For Your Pup.
I'm all ears. I love hearing about people's experiences with homemade pet food.
Well, we heard back from Emma C. again, and she's become quite the advocate for cooking for her dog, Bear.
That's so cool. What does she enjoy about it?
Well, for one thing, she loves the bonding experience of cooking for Bear.
Ah, that's sweet. It's like a special ritual they share.
It is. And she also loves how much Bear enjoys the variety of flavors and textures.
Makes sense.
And
who wouldn't get bored with the same kibble every day?
Right. And I think it speaks to something deeper, too.
Yeah.
That idea of food as a way to express love and care.
Totally. It's like you're nourishing their body and soul.
Exactly. And Emma said it's made a noticeable difference in Bear's health, too.
Oh, really? In what way?
Well, she said he's got more energy, his coat is shinier, and he just seems happier overall.
That's fantastic. It sounds like she's really found something that works for them.
She has, and I think it's inspiring. It shows that we can make a real difference in our pets' lives through the food we give them.
Absolutely. It's about taking that extra step to nourish them from the inside out.
So as we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I want to leave you with this thought.
Mm-hmm.
What small act of love can you show your pet today?
It's really inspiring to see parents like Emma taking their pet's health into their own hands.
It is. Going back to Cooking For Your Pup, one thing that really struck me was that sense of empowerment. Like, you're not just relying on mass-produced pet food anymore.
Exactly. You're taking control of their nutrition, you're choosing the ingredients, you're making sure they're getting what they need.
And I think that can be really empowering for parents.
Absolutely. It's like you're saying, hey, I'm not just going to passively accept whatever's on the shelf. I'm going to do my research. I'm going to make the best choices for my furry friend.
Like becoming an advocate for their health.
Exactly. And it's not about being perfect. It's not about making every single meal from scratch.
Right. It's about finding a balance. That's something the cookbook emphasizes too.
It does. It gives you the tools and the knowledge to make informed decisions, whether you're cooking a full meal or just adding some fresh ingredients to their kibble.
So it's all about incorporating those wholesome foods into their diet in whatever way works for you.
Exactly. And you know what I love about that? It takes the pressure off. It's not about being this gourmet chef. It's about making small changes that can have a big impact.
It's those little things that can make a world of difference.
Absolutely. And I think it can be a fun journey too.
Oh, for sure. Who doesn't love experimenting in the kitchen?
Right. And it's a great way to bond with your pet too. They get excited when they see you cooking something special just for them.
And you get to see the joy on their face when they take that first bite.
It's a win-win.
So, as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of parenting, I want to leave you with this thought. What's one small thing you can do today to make your pet's day extra special?
Maybe it's a new toy, an extra long walk, or a homemade treat using a recipe from Cooking For Your Pup.
Or maybe it's just giving them your undivided attention, really being present with them in that moment.
Because at the end of the day, those little gestures, those expressions of love are what matter most.
They're the building blocks of a strong and lasting bond.
And that's what makes being a parent such a rewarding experience.
Absolutely. So until next time, fellow parents, keep on diving deep